This game doesn't allow live streaming. Since when? Give that all of a couple of minutes to sort itself out. Well, it sounds like it's working. Well. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Season 3, the start of what could be our final season. Here in SRL, we're here for round 1 of 17 at Australia. We're doing a bit of a continental season this time round, so we're kind of going through each continent. Next race is Japan, so we'll be going about, basically we're around Australasia at this point. Starting off with Australia, and then we'll move into the Asian tracks for whatever rounds we have selected. I should have had a copy of the copy of the calendar open. Which would have made this all the more smoother, but it's fine. So just while we're waiting for the drivers to start setting their qualifying laps, all 19 of them, just a few little bits of key information about this upcoming season. So we now run simulation damage across both damage settings, which is car damage and car damage rate. So floor damage, side pod damage, barge boards, rear wing and front wing is a lot more prominent. You can get damage simply by going over curbs, going into gravel traps. Your car is a lot more fragile than it was last season. That's, I believe, the biggest change. No, tell a lie. The other one is our new points system. I was the one who came up with this. Just to keep everything a little bit closer, well, I say I came up with it, I'm not going to lie, I did kind of take it from PSGL. It's 15 points for a race win, 12 for P2, 10 for P3, 8 for P4. Hang on, let me actually get it up. We'll be in standings. Here we go. Okay, so 15 points for a race win, P2 is 12 points, P3 is 10 points, P4 is 8, P5 is 6, P6 is 5, P7 is 4, P8 is 3, P9 is 2, P10 is 1, and fastest lap is 1 point. And it's also 15 rounds, not 17. That is my bad. I completely forgot we missed a round. Here's the thing. Gangster Owl will be the first of our drivers. To actually set a lap. Okay, so yeah, our next race is at Japan. And then we go to Singapore and Azerbaijan, and then we go into the European leg, which is Imola, Portugal, Britain, Austria, Belgium, and Monaco. And we go off to the Americas for Brazil and Canada. Then we go to the last 3 races in the Middle East, which is Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Abu. So last season, should I say, the Constructors' title was won by Red Bull, who have retained their lineup for this season of Greg Stars and Pete, both of which showing very good form, especially at the back end of the season. Sorry, what's that, Brando? Game volume is a little loud. I will turn that down for you right now. Bear with me. 2 seconds. It's thinking about it. Alio? Oh, good. This is, hang on. Thank you. Hang on 1 second, I need to reload the stream, bear with. Right, definitely press spectate, not the other one. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hopefully it will be a little bit quieter, but I don't think I can change it if it's going to destroy the game when I do. So it's on 20 now. I did turn it up for this one, so that's probably where I went wrong. I turned it up to 30, but hopefully it should be all fine once we get back into the lobby. There we go. Okay, that should be alright. Alright, so, well, while we've had some slight technical issues, literally 5 minutes into qualifying. Let's have a quick look. No one is currently set a lap time. GRT Andrew will be the first. 23.7 is the time they're all chasing here in Q1. GRT Andrew finished on the podium last time for the finale of last season. Seb goes faster, only just 4 milliseconds ahead. Brando then tops the timesheets with a 22.7. So, for reference as well, I've got this written down. This is how prepared I am. Last season's pole position time, set by GRT Rambo, was a 1:21.147. So that is the time these drivers could be chasing to beat the, I would say beat the track record around here, but I think the track record around here is about a 1:19 or something like that. It's stupid. Peak of 22.7 is very close so far. The two little groups, Paper Stream setting a 33.7. I think he had to get out of the way of someone there on that lap and slowed down. Eclipse is invalidated. Just trying to keep up with what we have. Here we go. Here's a lovely name for you all. SRL Apollo, the league owner. I've sacked him personally from the comms box because he did think about racing, and I talked him into it. I was like, well, if you want to race, you might as well, because this could be our last season. Go out there, have a bit of fun, actually bother to do a little bit of practice, and see where it lands you. And it's currently landed in P3 with a 1:23.3. Right next to his teammate as well, about 4/10 clear. Brando goes even faster with a 1:22.1. Lovely lap there from Brando. Dalek's coming, and Alfie absolutely destroys it with a 1:21.6. That is probably to be expected, or a sign of things to expect. Alfie is a very, very quick driver. Not a lot of people capable of matching him. So he is definitely going to be, I'd imagine, the favourite for the title. Brad invalidates. Tazonic has retired in the pits. Without setting a lap. Taz is starting last. Last to first for Tazonic. Go on, Sam. Eclipse. Oh, that's Alfa Romeo there. That's Reese, who was on a lap. Been blocked a bit, but Eclipse was on a lap himself. So that's 8 minutes into quali, and probably our first steward inquiry already. We have Brando and Clark. Oh, I thought they were doing a little formation there. Well, they kind of are. Sure to get right out of the way of everyone. That's Daleks coming around in the Aston Martin to complete a lap. Let's see if anyone else is. No, I think it's just him. We're on board with the Aston. Alright, so yeah, last time out here we had 20 start and only 5 finish. Daleks doesn't activate DRS, probably going for a bit of a race run or something. This is Q1, 24.4. Despair is down in 9th at the moment. Wouldn't be that's not really a representative lap time for where Despair is. Bradford has invalidated it again by the looks of it. Gangster Owl coming around the last few corners. Turn number 13. Now to 14. A bit of a leisurely pace going on at the moment, but I'm sure we can pick up something near the end of this lap. Very conservative on the throttle through the last corner from the Haas. Up to the line now. It's a 29.7. Just just behind Eclipse at the moment. Bradford going for a full lap, so let's ride on board with the McLaren. Turn 1, you want to brake around about 100 metres, flip the car over the curb. It's done that nicely. You can use a little bit more runoff at turn 2. Then you want to brake round about the flag board for this corner. Brad pretty much nails that. You get the car rotated in 3rd gear, short shift to 4th. Doesn't quite short shift to 4th. Or again. But the car is kept well within limits through turn 4 and 5, now into the end of the first sector. Braking just before the 50-metre board, shut the car in. That corner won't exist this time next year. We'll be with the new layout. Neither will these two. The turn 9 and 10 chicane braking just as the kink in the wall there. Start the new barrier. Really want to keep it to the left. Brad's gone a little bit wide there, so a little bit more time on the table for him. And now through 11 and 12. Little flick of the steering wheel. Ooh, big snap through turn 12, but he had the first part of it just about right. He's turned in a little bit too early for the second part. Now turn 13. Bit of a lock-up, gone a bit wide. Very tentative end to the lap. Bradford now 15 and 16 left to go. Penultimate corner. Now the last corner. Really pick up the throttle early. Just about manages to do that. Up to the line for the McLaren. Where's it going to be? P9 with a 24.1. For Bradford there. It's not too bad of a lap. There's definitely more time in that, especially in the last sector for him, but the first sector looked pretty tidy. Greg Stars is also on a lap, so we're right on board with Greg Stars. Ooh, Pete as well, I've just noticed, is only 2 tenths off Clar. It's a very good lap. Purple first sector apparently for Greg Stars. I'm not sure how accurate that is. We have had a patch, but I don't know if that was one of the things fixed. It does need to be the sector timing. It's a bit misleading. The Red Bull looking very hooked up so far, as was the case in real life. All season this car was absolutely planted a lot of the time. It's very nice through the 11 and 12 chicane there from the Red Bull. Just holding 6th gear, plenty of downforce to keep the car glued to the road. Turn 13, the car in very nicely, using a bit of the curb. It's a lovely lap so far from Greg Stars. Now into 15 and 16, braking a little deep, but I think he's got away with it. Now through the last corner, picking up throttle nice and early. DRS wide open, the big letterbox in the rear wing. Up to the line, it's going to be P5, 122.9. It looked a bit faster than that. We have Reese on a lap here through turn 12 now. Hooks that up rather nicely indeed. There's the Alfa Romeo driver, currently sitting in 4th. He did race a few races last season. I remember having a few good battles with him. Might be one of the dark horses this season, but with a grid like this we never really know. Although at the moment everyone is saying that Alfie's got this in the bag, but it is Alfie and he has a certain reputation. 21.9 from Reese. Getting on to the top 3. Pete retires in the pits, he's happy with his lap. OAP Big Boy will be the only time I'll be calling him that. I'm going to refer to him as Phoenix, as that is who he is, formerly known as AMX Phoenix, last time he was in this league. Goes P7 in the Alpine, he is a reserve driver for the moment, as well as Daleks. They are both currently reserves. Everyone else in this lobby is a full-time driver. So we'll see what's in store for us here. There is no longer the, was it 43 points? Or 44 points was the maximum on offer for a weekend. Thankfully, it's now only 28. So this should hopefully be a lot closer throughout the entirety of this season, with a bit of luck. We have 4 minutes left of Q1. So, I guess a little bit about Albert Park, a little bit about the circuit while we're waiting for the drivers to go around. The track length is 3.28 miles around the Albert Park Lake, which is where the circuit gets its name. The first time we used this venue was 1996, before that it was Adelaide. The first Australian Grand Prix was in 1928. I can't remember what track, I should have written that down. And I guess the key action spots for this track, well, the main overtaking opportunities will be down into turn 3, which is where that Aston Martin's coming up to now with its Dalek. So this one here, turn 3, and then we have this. I might have just missed him. Yeah, the corner that SRL Apollo just went through, turn number 13. Both those DRS zones provided into a rather heavy braking zone, so it's pretty common to see moves up the inside of any of those corners. I guess other than that, I mean, turn 1, turn 2 isn't really an overtaking opportunity, but it's definitely possible. It's just you have to have a lot of trust in the other driver to leave you space, and with sim damage now, that is all the more important throughout the entirety of, well, definitely throughout the entirety of the season, but definitely through the entirety of a race weekend as well, just leaving each other space, leaving each other a bit of common courtesy, just to make sure there are no incidents. We have Gangster out in front of the Williams here. I think he might have just got in the way a fair bit there. I think that was Apollo. Yes, it was. 2.5 tenths down for the Williams. I'm not going to be best pleased with that, if I know Kieran at all. Richard coming up to the line now in the Mercedes, 29.4. Kind of the slowest lap time, but I'm sure he can improve. Bit of a rivalry between these two, I'd say, Eclipse and Richard. Last season, definitely. They were separated by 1 point in the end. Eclipse got 4, Richard got 3. So, hang on, let me put my phone on silent. So then, hopefully we won't have any more of that stupid pinging. There we go. I should really do that beforehand, but that'll be fine for next week, definitely. I will do that. Yeah, so hopefully we won't have a complete repeat of the finale last season, where 5 people finish. There were a few other underlining glitches as well. We had the safety car glitch for the 4th time that season. A lot of incidents here, there and everywhere, but it did still provide a pretty drama-filled and entertaining finale to Season 2. GRT Andrew goes P8. So currently at risk, we have Gangster out, Eclipse, and Richard. At the moment are the 3 that will be getting eliminated. Paperstream currently sitting in the drop zone in P15. Tazonic is already out. So Eclipse goes for a spin at turn 12. It's very easy to do, especially if you're running the car low to the ground. You really want a high rear at this track. To the nature of how the curbs are, you really need to use a lot of these runoff curbs if you want to gain time, and then because there's still equal grip on the grass at times, as long as it's situated near a curb, there is just a random level of grip, which is a little bit on the cursed side, but it's how this game unfortunately is. But with a shorter season and all the new rules and settings implemented that we have now, this should hopefully be a very entertaining season indeed to give a watch through all these drivers. We have, I believe we have 18 full-time drivers. Yeah, we would do. The only seat, we do have 2 seats available currently, which is 1 in the Aston Martin and 1 in the McLaren, I think. No, my apologies. We only have 1 seat, and that's in the Aston Martin. The McLaren seat is filled. The driver's RSF1 Hunt couldn't make it. As per one of our new rules, you must be signed up to the race by 12 o'clock on the Monday of the race. I was in the pits. Okay, I got a bit confused then. I was like, why is there an Alpine just randomly stopped? But it's in the pits. So, just had a little cheeky view of the view count as well. 6 people watching. Hello, everyone. just approaching the end of Q1 now, so this is the kind of long period of qualifying, I suppose. But now the action should rattle in quite nicely. But out in qualifying 1, we have Gangster Owl, Richard PGR, Eclipse PGR, and Tazonic. The 4 drivers eliminated at the end of qualifying. So we just wait for these last couple of drivers to finish their laps or pull back into the pits. But so far, Clark setting the pace with a 1:21.6. That's about half a second off pole already, and we're only in Q1. Pete in second, Reese third, all drive 1:21. And you have Despair and Brando, the 2 Alpha Tauris, teammates at the end of last season when Brando was called up to the Aston Martin team, or I say called down because he went from Mercedes to Aston Martin, but were pipped just at the end, or didn't score enough points, as I believe neither driver finished Australia, and Pete picked up a podium, which secured Red Bull that Constructors' Championship. So that is the end of the first of 3 qualifying sessions that we have this evening. And there we go, Clark setting the pace with his Jarno Opmeer avatar. And let's have a quick look. So Gangster Owl, it's only 4/10 off Paper Stream. Yeah, but then there's a bit of a deficit between Richard and Eclipse. Richard already out qualifying Eclipse at the moment. So between that little rivalry at least, it's 1-0 to Richard. Both have Mercedes power units. Was that the case last season? No, Eclipse was in the McLaren and Richard was in the Alpha Tauri, so it was Mercedes versus Honda. Oh, now we have 9 viewers. Hello everyone. We have a couple of people in chat. We have Bobby Does YouTube, otherwise known as Havoc. Hello. And we have Apollo going, Sue. Is that what you're going to do if you get a podium this season, Kieran? Every time you get on the podium, that's the first thing I want to hear from you when you get in. Include your audio. You just go, Sue. Absolutely lovely stuff. I can't wait. I hope you get a podium this season. Would be nice to see. Especially with sim damage, anything could happen here. So, what does YouTube? How am I? I am very well, thank you, Havoc. How are you? Hopefully you're enjoying this qualifying session so far. Although we've only done 1 qualifying session, still yet to do the other 2. We have GRT Andrew as the first driver to start this qualifying session. In the Alpine. They unveiled their 2022 car today, and I can't say it's a good one. It's I mean, I'll be honest, for the full sake of transparency, I haven't liked either Alpine livery. They've been a bit underwhelming for both of them, but I definitely prefer this one here, the 2020. Because the 2022, oh, this is 2021, sorry, not 2020. But I cannot lie, I do not get the hype around either the Aston Martin or the Alpine liveries. They're just a little bit on the boring side. But only Alfa Romeo left to do their livery in real life. That's not for another few days, so we'll do another one. I did say to Kieran I'd do all of these in qualifying. So on board with GRT Andrew on the soft tyres in the Alpine, coming over to turn 1, braking very late indeed, around about 60 metres. As the car turned in very nicely, keeps it rather centred through the track. Now slowly drifts to the left, as is the racing line, braking round about the flag board, turning in second gear. That's interesting. Now turn 4, they are up through turn 5. That's the lift. Very interesting. 28-1. Probably not pushing it at the moment, just getting a lap on the board, that's all the main thing. You really need to do at the beginning of Q2 is just get a lap on the board, see where you are, and go from there. Now to turn 9 and 10. I cannot wait until this corner doesn't exist. To be fair, turn 9 is probably another overtaking opportunity if you get a good run through turn 7 on someone. But through turn 11, takes in Sliker very nicely enough through turn 12. A little bit reserved, but very clean nonetheless. Now turn 13. I don't think Andrew's particularly fond of that corner after last time. I wouldn't know why. Now through turn 14, into 15, braking just before the 50-metre board. Now turn 16, keep it tight, get on the power nice and early. He's done that very nicely indeed. Up to the line now. Backs off. Interesting. 26.6. Apollo has invalidated. He might have almost spun. He was going rather slow at turn 12. Right on board with Havoc then in the Mercedes. Or Brado. Top of the timing sheets with 123.1. Don't think anyone's pushing the limit just yet. Havoc through turn 9 and 10. Very nicely done indeed. Now keeping to the left. Drifting out to the right as the wall starts straightening out. Very nicely done indeed. Flicks the car in, a little bit hot on the brakes. It's going to upset the momentum through turn 12. That is still clean. Now turn 13, braking very nicely in between the 50 and 100 metre boards. Probably about 70 metres. Now flicking it into turn 14, into 15 now. Hits the apex quite nicely. Rears tries to step out on him a little bit there. Rounding the last corner, nice and early on the power. Up to the line now for the Mercedes. It's a 23.1, just off Brando. It's very close so far with all these drivers at the moment. And we have Phoenix coming to the end of the lap now in the other Alpine. Turn number 15 and then 16. And we'll be starting a lap. He's just done a no ERS lap. Yeah, done a no ERS. 26.3 so far is the lap on the board. What's just happened there? I think it's just someone getting out of the way there. FRT Clark coming around. Oh, we have a lovely little gaggle of cars coming through the last few corners. Right on board with Apollo quickly. Get ready to go on board with Clark. Give me a better camera. There we go. Cheeky on board. SRL Apollo goes third fastest. Clark up to the line. 22.5 on the mediums. That is to be expected. Ooh, Greg Stars is out. Ooh, he's done a Valtteri Bottas. Spun it out of turn 1 by the looks of it. So that's your first. That's the first crash of the season with sim damage. Very unfortunate there. But, that's on mediums as well. Ouch. Ouch indeed. Dear oh dear. It's unfortunate to see, but to be fair, it's not the end of the world. Starting in that between P11 and P15, it's definitely not the end of the world. Starting on fresh tyres. So all is never lost, especially at a track like this. It's rather easy to make mistakes around here, and very easy now to start losing car parts. But, the marshals are going to end up having a little like bargain sale or something at the end of this race weekend. But anyone coming to the end of lap? We have Reese on one right now. Clark is probably coming back into the pits. Paper Stream is backed out. We have Reese, I believe. It's Brando. Oh, he's now fitted a set of mediums. I was about to say, hang on. Wow, that says mediums. He might have done that 23.1 on mediums then. I'd imagine he would, to be fair. That's probably something I could Obviously a lot of people trying to start on the mediums around here. Medium to soft is pretty much the base strategy around here. It's a fairly convincing one-stop. Reese rounding the last corner now. He's going to catch up to Despair at the end of the lap, so Despair will jump up the timing sheets. Reese goes with a 1:22.8, 3/10 off Clar. But those gaps to Clar are getting ever so smaller. So maybe these intervals are not... Ooh, Seb goes for a bit of a spin. Just hooked a tyre on the grass by the looks of it. But he's just about kept that fine. No damage for the Williams, just slightly cooked tyres. Oh, Bradford's gone for a bit of a spin as well. Out of the last corner. Everyone's now on a cool-down lap, so we have 6 minutes left. This will be the time where all the drivers will probably be planning to go again, either on a fresh set of softs, maybe again on their current set of mediums, or if they haven't already, maybe try at the medium tyres, try your luck, see what you can get. But at the moment, at risk of being eliminated, we have Pete, Seb, Bradford, Greg Stars is already out, and Andrew. So I realised I haven't done any like predictions for who's getting eliminated in each session. That is big sad. Let's see. I guess I can quickly make one now. We've still got 5 minutes. So I'm going to say those eliminated. Well, Greg Stars is one of them. He's unfortunately out of the session. So 4 more. I'm going to say Bradford will be one of them. Maybe as well Paper Stream and Daleks. I think that just leaves one. I'm gonna say Despair. I'm gonna be a bit bold. I'm gonna say Despair P11. Daleks P12, Paper Stream P13. Bradford 14th, Greg Stars 15th. I should really write these down. Wait, so then I don't forget. The ultimate professionalism. And we have some... just took my headphones off and they snapped in half. Perfect timing. Oh no. Oh dear. Quick, get the gaffer tape out. A lot of retirements. That's people retiring in the pits. They're happy with their current laps. So that's Apollo, Southern Ping, Havoc and Brando all retiring. I think they're happy with their laps. I mean, Brando and Havoc are definitely safe, at least. Seb's gone 5th fastest, I've just noticed as well, with 1:23.6 on the mediums. And there that pushes the 2 Alpines just outside of the top 10. Both of them on mediums as well, so they're definitely trying the alternate strat. So then, all right on board. Hang on, Pete's a little bit further up the road. So right on board with Pete then, in the Red Bull. The man that finished P2 in the driver's standings last season. Very good drives from him all season long. He's taking a very nice line through turns 7 and 8. Set him up nicely for turn 9 on the brakes. Takes the apex very nicely, uses the runoff. So a little graze of the wall. Looked like the rear wing had a little bit of a shake. Looks like he's getting away with it fine now into turn 12. Ah, absolutely gorgeous. There you go. Now into turn number 13. Hard on the brakes. Car rotates round. Absolutely lovely. Last couple of corners now. Luciano's retired. He's retired in the pits. He's definitely safe. But Pete rounding the last corner now on the soft tyres, although it says mediums on the graphic there. P2 with a 1:22.8. So he's definitely safe with that lap. We have Phoenix has invalidated. Andrew is coming up to the line now. P10. Dalek's up to the line. He can't improve. And Phoenix pits and might not have time to come back out. It's going to be cutting it fine. Might do, but only just. Bradford's on an out lap himself. He'll be one of the next ones, so runnable with the spare then. Currently on a lap. About 3.5, 4 tenths up. So far into the last sector. That was a tad wide there at turn 13. It's just the camera angle. But all these cameras are so nice when they actually like work. You can just see the car flow through each corner. And there you go, absolutely lovely stuff. Up to the line for despair now. It is P3. Should see him through very nicely indeed. Seb comes back out to try again. There's definitely no time for Phoenix, and he's realised that himself, so he has retired. Seb getting out of the way there of Towery. Bradford is on a lap, so we're right on board with the McLaren. 7.4 is pretty good first sector, a little bit wide through turn 7 though. Always on the curb and he's spun it. Spun it multiple times, there's no front wing. Is there no front wing? Still a little bit there. How did he not lose? Fair enough, his car is made of absolutely everything. Stainless steel. So that's Bradford out of qualifying then. So Bradford P15, Greg Starr's P14, Phoenix 13. Andrew's been pushed down to P11, I believe. I don't quite know who improved there. So let's see then. Can Andrew or Paperstream push Southern Ping and or Apollo out of qualifying too? We're out of Q3 into what's this next qualifying session, the top 10 shootout. But Andrew so far looks like a pretty good lap. 2 tenths up at the moment. That'll be enough at the moment to get him through. All he needs to do is finish the lap. He's putting a fair bit of wear on these tyres though. On a couple of trips round on these medium tyres. Into the last sector now. It's only him and Seb left. Left to complete laps. Andrew rounding the final corner now. Across the line, it's P9. That pushes Southern Ping out of qualifying. So Southern Ping is eliminated then. That's your bottom 5 then. Bradford 15th, Greg Starr's 14th, Phoenix 13th, Paperstream 12th, and Southern Ping 11th. Only just missing out on SRL in P10. It's, Seb coming through back into the pits. That is qualifying 2 now over. Settings were screwed. Why? What's happened to the settings? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's not fine. That's all fine. Simulation reduced, did I just say? Okay. There we go then. Oh wow, I can see all the track limits. Oh yes. There you go, Clark topping the timing sheets once again, second qualifying session in a row. He has topped the timing sheets. Pete in second place, Despair third, Reese fourth, Brando fifth, Havoc in sixth, Seb in seventh, Daleks in eighth, Andrew in ninth, and Apollo just scraping into the top 10. Zelen Ping 11th, Paperstream 12th, Phoenix 13th, Greg Stars and Bradford both failing to set lap. That is your top. There's your top 10. I can't advance. I can't really do anything, to be fair. I'm sitting here doing absolutely nothing. I'm like stuck on this screen. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Time is here. Just wait for the time. Time to. Oh, I even set it to sim on both. Oh dear. That is the big sad. Well, here we go then for the final stage of qualifying here then in Albert Park. We're now doing the top 10 shootouts. So just once again, like I said at the beginning of the stream, pole time last race was a 1:21.147, and let's see if any of those drivers can beat that time. Will we see a 1:20? I think Clara is definitely capable of doing it. I reckon as well, maybe Andrew, Despair and Brando could hook it up, maybe even Reese. Like, there's a fair few people. Pete as well. Like, there's a fair bit of uncertainty here. Like, these, the gaps between these drivers aren't as big as you... Oh, here we go. Oh, yes, he's out first. I get to ride on board with Time Trial Merchant number 1, Botty Clark. It's, there you go. As I'm making sure my camera settings are working, so I get to do the Q3 lap on board with the man that everyone thinks is going to be champion. He's definitely got it on pace. That pace is never the be-all end-all of a race. So many things can go wrong, even to quick drivers. You never ever really know what's going to happen, which is the beauty of racing. It's so unpredictable. It's it makes it exciting. Right. Oh dear. There we go. Take a little drink. Let's get ready then. Gear up with a lap that I'm going to think is going to be very quick indeed. And FRT Clark. So rounding the last corner now. Short shifting up to 4th, now up to 5th, on the power around the last corner. DRS already open, hot lap mode turned up to the max. Looking at turn 1 very late, around about 50 metres, chuck the car in, 4th gear, using all the runoff exactly how you want to. Beautiful first couple of corners there from Clark. Turn 3 now, braking just after the flag board. Slight lock up, but he's got the car rotated. Short shift up to 4th for turn 4. Out to 5th. Does he take it flat? Yes, he... Oh, slight lift. Through turn 5 at the exit there. 26.6. What a first sector that is from Clark. Using all the runoff from turn 7. Now through turn 8. Up to 9 and 10. Braking really hard on the anchors. Just after that divot in the wall. Slight lock up again, but he's got away with it. Nice line there. Through turn 10. Now into... the bit I'm most excited for in Clark's lap. Here we go. Shut the car in. 6th gear. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Keeping the car in 6th. Interesting. I think he had enough speed to shift up to 7th there. Into turn 13. Now braking hard. Around about 50 metres. Slight lock up again. He's got away with it. Hasn't cost him too much time. Turn 30 or 14, sorry. Now 15 and 16. Just nibbles the apex of 15. Now through 16. Hug that inside curve. Lovely stuff. Up to the line. This is going to be a very, very quick lap indeed. 21-0. Last year's pole has been beaten. Only just, though. That was an absolutely wonderful lap there from Alfie. Seb is invalidated. Who will be next then? The Apollo. Running the last corner a little bit wide. The last corner. That's definitely going to upset the rhythm up to the line. It's 23-4 for Apollo, but he's got time to go again. Reese. Oh no, we have the two Alpha Tauris first. Despair is invalidated, so it will be Brando up to the line. 22-8. And Brando. Reese up to the line now. 21-9. Alfie so far out in front. Slip's gone for a little spin. I was wondering why there was a car sideways. Andrew up to the line now. 4 runs out of deployment as well. 22-9. Only just behind. Oh, Klaus crashed. He's done the exact same thing that I did last season. He's crashed out of turn 12. He's that confident that he's just going to bin it there. And that's his qualifying done. That's Alfie for you. Pete in the Red Bull. Oh, that was a lovely turn 13. As committed as you like. So nice just to see them push the limits into those AstroTurfs. Just absolutely maximise the track width and get away with it. The point of these cars. Up to the line for Pete now. P3, 22-1 for the Red Bull driver. Despair isn't on a lap. Havoc is, however, so runnable with the Mercedes. Tiny bit wide through turn 11, just upset the rhythm through turn 12, but hasn't put him too much astray. 13 hits the apex very nicely indeed. 14. A fair amount of curb on the inside there. Turn 15. The apex. Very turning in a tad too early. Upset the car a bit. The line though. 6. 23-0. Plenty of time for these drivers to go again. Still have 6 minutes, so although Alfie is set at 21-0, there is still every possibility someone could beat him. They would have to find round about Reese would have to find about a second. Pete would have to find just over a second. Brando would have to find almost 2. Same as Andrew, same as Havoc. But weirder things have happened in Formula 1. So, I wouldn't fully put my eggs in the Alfie pole basket just yet. Maybe leave one just on the side. Just in case. Just in case you need it. That little cream egg. Just, there you go, leave it on the desk. Absolutely lovely stuff. Carnage into turn 1, I bet. Oh, it's going to be 2002 all over again. Someone's going to go over the top of another car. Apollo, would 11.9 wings work? Let me answer your question with another question. Do you fancy making any overtakes this race? Or Havoc, please don't understeer and that's a wall. Don't ever do that again. I thought I was going to understeer into the wall. That would have been very sad. No, because everyone will die. Then yes, 11.9 wings is perfectly fine if you're relying on everyone else dying. I just realised we have Daleks on that. Let's run on board then with the Aston Martin. Currently one of 3 drivers left to set a lap time. 50.3 chucks the car into turn 12 very nicely. Or turn 11, sorry. A little bit unsighted through turn 12 though. Turn 13. Very nice so far. Rides the inside car. I don't get why everyone's doing that. Like, that's the two like stark contrasts I've seen so far this qualifying session. You have people mount the curb, or you have people completely stay away from it. There's no in between. Mind your flaws, lads. Daleks with a 24-1. At least has a time on the board for now. That's what we really need. There you go then. With have a little outboard lap with Despair then. In the AlphaTauri. Absolutely lovely looking car. AlphaTauri so far has been absolutely beautiful. Personal favourite, I have to say, is the first one, the 2021, just predominantly white with that navy engine cover. Although this one is pretty damn sexy too, as is the new one. Absolutely nailed their car design so far. Have AlphaTauri with Despair. Mercedes gets right out of the way. Into turn 3. Looking so far so good for the AlphaTauri. Honda. Last time we'll see Honda at the moment, I believe, in terms of sponsorship, because Honda technically don't exist anymore. How is that valid? Okay, we'll move on. Yeah, Honda technically does exist, but it's now Red Bull powertrains. But they're still kind of using like Honda facilities, as far as I remember, at least. So it will still probably have that heavenly turbo wind down and the absolutely heavenly low RPM. But other than that, it's just called a Red Bull powertrain now, as opposed to a Honda engine. But Despair using his Honda engine to finish his lap now, looking pretty neat and tidy so far in this last sector. On the brakes for 15. Now around to 16. And around the corner up to the line. DRS wide open. On the sprint to the finish. P2, 121.1. So there you go. Alfie is only about a 10th clear at the moment. So if someone finds not even a 10th on Despair, that's pole. Just running ball with Brando a little bit wide. Turn 1. Shouldn't upset his rhythm too much. Pete has retired, I've just noticed as well. I think he retired in the pits. How much more he believes he can do then. But it's still P4 at the moment. Very, very solid effort. Dalek's keeping well out of the way of those two cars there. Brando currently a 10th up. Flies it through turns 7 and 8. And the other AlphaTauri. Now turn 9 into 10. Keeps it very neat and tidy on the inside there. One thing I will say, I do absolutely love Brando's helmet design. He's put screenshots of it in the chat. It looks absolutely amazing. But let's see if that helmet's going to be... give him a bit of luck trying to get a few more positions here. He's currently half a second up. Ooh, a tiny bit wide through turn 13. Shouldn't affect him too much though. Now turn 14 into 15 and 16. Hits the apex very nicely indeed. Now through the last corner, tiny bit wide, tyres screaming out for help at the very end there. Up to the line, P3, 21.9. So far, it's AlphaTauri 2 and 3 at the moment, but no one currently ahead of Alfie. So Alfie's doing the full 2013 Sebastian Vettel Singapore experience of getting pole from the garage. You only need the one lap, and then just sit in the garage for the rest of it. Reese. Supposedly purple, so we'll carry on then riding on board with the Alfa Romeo, rounding the last few corners now to finish his lap into the 15 and 16. Very deceptive corners. It's quite easy to ruin a lap here. Oh, a little bit wide. Rounding the last corner now though, up to the line. Is this going to be enough? No, sneaks ahead of Brando. So it's now P3 at least for him. Andrew coming up to the line now. He goes P6 with a 22.3. Havoc is backed out of the lap. Apollo is on one. He's run on board, about 10th up. Oh, it's very wide there, son. Oh, that's very wide indeed. That's invalid and has to slam on the brakes, but here comes his teammate. The other Williams car. Back's right now. I don't know if he was not on a lap in general there, or... I don't think... Apollo definitely wasn't in the way by any means there. And last corner now. So there you go then. Your pole sitter then for the Australian Grand Prix round 1 of season 3 of SRL is FRC Club, only by about half a tenth of a second over LR Despair, Reece Simo in P3 in the Alfa Romeo, Brando 4th, Pete in 5th, GRT Andrew, I saw a G and I saw a blue line, I do apologise. GRT Andrew in 6th, Havoc in 7th, SRL Apollo for the first time in a long while that he's actually raced in his own league. I believe F1 2020 was the last time he raced. 2020 it was a race around France. In P8. And then it was Daleks and Seb rounding out the top 10. But there you go, half a tenth of a second between Clara and Despair, but so far all 3 qualifying sessions have been topped by Alfie in the Ferrari with his teammate down in P19, so the entire grid is in a Ferrari sandwich. Absolutely lovely stuff. So we should see a start time posted by Apollo any minute now. That will be the time that the drivers need to go. There we go. We will be starting 2 minutes past. Apollo, as I think you're watching the stream, or if Eclipse is, or anyone in your party is, just for reference, if someone readies up, quickly ready up after them and then screenshot it, because then you can see who's readied up. Because I can't see, because it doesn't do the chart anymore. So yeah, it'll just be one of those things, quickly ready up and then kind of screenshot it and see who's there. But that's only providing someone does. Hopefully they don't, because that's one of the bigger penalties this season, because we want people to get the message. It's not hard to not press A. So you will now get a 10-second time penalty if you ready up early. As well as resetting to track and retiring on track are now 10 seconds as well. As they're probably going to be rather fundamental penalties that will probably be given out this season. And we have Havoc in chat. I'll take P7, P right back, don't ready up this time. Hopefully no one does. With a bit of luck, but we're still sitting on this screen, so this is lovely stuff.